Hello, and welcome back to At Your Pace Online's Michigan Real Estate Education Series. In this portion of the class, we'll be going over the mathematics and equations that every real estate agent needs to know. We'll be discussing everything from multiplication, fractions, and percentages to the complex equations real estate agents use while on the job. But we'll begin with an overview of general math concepts. These concepts are the bedrock of the real-world calculations you'll need to use. If you're comfortable with math, you may find some of the general material a little basic, but we're covering it for people who need a refresher, for clarity, and as a foundation for material we'll cover later. Then we'll talk about property value and how to calculate changes in value. Valuation, or assessment, is how the monetary value of a property is determined, and there are several methods for assessing a property. The value of a property as a concept is more than just being a basis for a sale price. It's also used to determine fees and taxes on a property. An assessment of value is an important part of preparing to sell a property, and the value of a property should be regularly reassessed. It should be noted that the property value as assessed by a local government is rarely the same as the price a property will sell for. The value of a property is also not fixed. Real estate generally gains value over time. The term for this increase in value is appreciation. Factors like improvement value and economic life are used to determine the appreciation that accumulates in a year. Annual appreciation can also be represented by the appreciation rate. This is the percent of the value that's lost or gained every year. The annual appreciation rate can then be used to determine the total or accumulated appreciation. Then there's depreciation as well. So there's no confusion, we need to define what depreciation is and is not. Depreciation is a tax-related concept and not a measure of loss of value. Some property owners are allowed to take a tax deduction equal to a portion of the property value. Then we'll go into discussion of the taxes associated with property ownership. Local governments collect taxes based on the assessed value of a property. In addition, when a property changes hands, there may be other taxes and fees that need to be paid. Next, we'll examine the money that changes hands when a property transaction is completed. Taxes are usually paid on a yearly basis, while most fees are paid on a monthly basis. When a property is sold, it's not usually sold at the beginning of a year or a month. Since the seller will probably have paid property taxes and monthly fees before the closing, they will have covered the part of the month or year when the buyer owns the property. For this reason, sellers and buyers will split up tax and fee costs to make sure each pays what they actually owe. These costs are factored into what the buyer will need to give to the seller at the closing. The seller will determine their profit from the sale by deducting their costs from the amount they received from the buyer. Finally, any real estate agents involved in the sale will receive a commission for services rendered. In most cases, the real estate agent is paid a commission based on the sale price of the property. The commission can be further divided between agents and sub-agents. The last part of this class will focus on loans and the concept of interest. Real estate is rarely purchased without borrowing money. A solid grasp of the core concepts of lending and credit are essential to becoming an effective real estate agent. Interest is a type of fee that a borrower pays to the lender to utilize the borrowed money. The interest on a loan or mortgage is usually added periodically to the original loan amount to form the total amount. The total cost of a loan is the total amount of money a borrower will pay back to the lender. It's found by adding the original amount of loaned money, the principal, to the amount of money in interest that occurs over the life of the loan. A mortgage is a special kind of loan that's used to fund the purchase of real estate. Failing to repay a mortgage can lead to repossession of the property bought with the loan. The reason we're talking about mortgages here is that they're normally paid off in a specific way. The total cost of the loan is paid back in equal installments over the term of the loan. The equation used to find the installment payment is complicated, but vital to understand. Mathematics is critical for anyone in the real estate business. A solid understanding of real estate math can't be overstressed. Remember, real estate agents work with two subjects that require mathematical equations to effectively deal with: land and money. To accurately determine the value of a property, a real estate agent often needs to be able to calculate the size of the plot. This requires an understanding of geometry, which in turn utilizes multiplication, division, fractions, and decimals. As for money, a real estate agent can end up needing to calculate the taxes that a property owner will have to pay, determine the interest that would accrue on a mortgage, find the anticipated size of a monthly mortgage payment, or figure out the commission earned from a property sale. Mathematics is fundamental to working with real estate. So, let's get started.